The little engines were busy clearing the railroad of leaves and broken branches. Peter, Sam, and Rusty often worked together. One day, Rusty helped Peter Sam to a water tower. Peter Sam felt much better after his long drink, but the Freakers were bored. Their loads were heavy and their couplings old. One snapped! Shouted the Freakers. A sign read, "Slow steep bends and ravine ahead," but the silly Freakers never saw it. Then it was too late. Peter Sam arrived at the scene of the disaster. His driver sighed, and he was. Duncan was delighted with Peter Sam's dilemma. The next day, he spoke to Duncan's driver and fireman, who agreed. Duncan had to take coal cars to the slate mines and then bring cars back. Duncan's driver decided, as part of the plan, to cross the old iron bridge. Snorted Duncan. But all the same, he kept thinking about Rusty's story. When dusk fell, he was keen to leave. His driver replied. He could see their plan was working because Duncan was nervous. When night fell, they set off. The mists were rising around the old iron bridge. Duncan whistled, and the sound echoed everywhere. Then ahead, he saw flickering lights. His driver knew that they were only insects that shine brightly at night, but to Duncan, they looked like an engine. Next, his driver secretly threw a rock from the cab into the ravine below. When Duncan reached the safety of his shed, he closed his eyes tightly. And Duncan refused to open his eyes. He did so when he thought his driver wasn't looking, just to make sure he was still there.